You were children then. You and your sister both had no control over what happened.
You're wrong, Witcher. She had control. Remember, dear sister, the day they banished me from the palace? Of course, I'd had the idea to pelt the Nilfgaardian envoy with fish bladders, which we filled with rancid suet on a lark. And which you set afire at the last, to impress me, I imagine. And I admit, you did. Hit him right in his hideous bald patch. Never laughed so hard in my life. But when it came time to find the culprit, you said not a word. I took all the blame and all the punishment.
It's true. I did not stand up for you. I was too afraid.
The council was unanimous. They listed all my offenses. My flights from the palace, supposed acts of cruelty, inappropriate friendships. They cast me out. But you, the only one to understand me, you cowered in a corner, lifted not a finger to help. Not before, not after. You never tried to find me.
That's not true. I searched for you. Sent out knights, gathered tidings from without. You did not wish to be found. Since the day you vanished, I have lived with the knowledge that I failed you. I'm sorry, dear sister. Can you forgive me?
All in all, best part of the whole ceremony? It was short.
Perhaps for you, as you ducked out early. The others are probably just getting started. The drunkenness never ends in this quaint realm.
Not so fond of Toussaint after all, are we?
Oh, this place is like a strong wine, Geralt. Good in small sips. How do you find my personal brew? Not too strong?
Just right.
Credit the local mandrake of the Alrauna diabolus variety for that. The tubers which grow in this area's volcanic soil have an altogether unique flavor profile and display a remarkably uncommon dark brown tint.
Fascinating. All I can say is this batch turned out excellent.
Indeed. It might be wise to stockpile some roots for the future. Would you care to accompany me?
You decide to go root picking now? It's dark out.
Geralt, even were I generously to assume it had simply slipped your mind that I am a vampire and thus need no light to see, I'd never believe you had also forgotten that you likewise have absolutely no trouble seeing in the dark. So, shall we?
If you think it's a good idea, let's go. But I think you might be forgetting one thing. Fresh mandrake root of this variety is highly toxic, even to a witcher.
Ah, not a problem. I never forget matters of safety and hygiene in alchemy. Here, gloves and a mask. Don them, and you shall be in no danger.
Thanks. Right then, let's go.
This moonlight makes me, oh, so dreamy.
Penny for your thoughts. Let me guess. Succubus twins?
No, I was thinking about, oh, how anything can look interesting when properly lit.
Even an old necrophage corpse?
You've not an ounce of refinement in you, have you?
Now, where'd that bloodsucker go? Won't be easy to track down. He's a vampire, after all. Regis! Damn it, where'd you go? Regis! Those Bruxay, they called you a traitor.
Alas, we've a very simple code of honor, we vampires. So simple you might call it trivial. Either one is with us, unconditionally, regardless of the circumstances, or...
Won't let it go, will they?
They will not. Fortunately, we've another rule, an unwritten one, and just as trivial as the first. It is neatly summarized in the saying, out of sight, out of mind. That is why I must leave Toussaint. For a vastly long time, most like.
Yeah, I get it.
Let us make for my camp. I've an overwhelming desire to have another drink. Supreme bouquet. Firm, defined beginning, then develops gently, rising to a startling finish. Don't you think?
Not much of a connoisseur.
Then it is high time you started your education. After all, the Corvo Bianco vineyard is now yours. By the way, I left a gift for you in your new home, on the nightstand.
Thanks. Mind telling me what it is?
A trifle. That will nonetheless be useful should you need mutagens. Incidentally, have you thought about what you'll do with your prize? Shall you hang your swords over the mantle and take to pruning vines?
Know what? Think I just might. Come on now, don't laugh. Maybe not today or tomorrow. But one day I'll want to see what it's like. To just wake up every day in my own bed.
Oh, stop, please. Sounds so sentimental, my fangs have begun to hurt. Then what? Will you begin writing your memoirs like Dandelion? I can remember a night, not too far from here if I'm not mistaken. We hid in a cave while a blizzard raged all about. Does that sound at all familiar?
How could it not? We just set off to rescue Ciri from Vilgefortz.
Oh, our encounter with Vilgefortz. That is something I do not remember so fondly. But that first stay in Beauclair, far calmer than this one.
Seemed like a land straight out of a fairy tale back then. Its sole problem, cellars too small to accommodate all that wine.
Appearances, Geralt. Appearances, like Mamoons and Dopplers, deceive. So what did become of Vilgefortz?
Killed him. Sure wasn't easy, though. What about you? Any idea where you'll go?
Distance is of the essence. I thought I might venture south.
Nilfgaard?
Why ever not? The Nilfgaardians are a modern society. None there believe in vampires anymore. This fact alone could be very useful to one wishing to remain incognito.
Interesting point of view. I so don't feel like going anywhere. Sit here a while longer?
So we shall, my friend. We have witnessed, and in fact on several occasions incited, many great and weighty events. After all that toil, I believe we deserve a bit of a rest.
That we do. Actually, I'd love to go home. Let's go.
Yes, likely drunk in the gutter again.
You shan't find anything better in all Tucson. Oh! Tellywhacked the beast? Not bad.
Master Witcher, some unknown individual barged into the residence. I resisted as best I could, but to no avail.
Who is it?
Alas, they did not do me the basic courtesy of introducing themselves.
Geralt, here at last.
Dandelion? What the hell are you doing here?
I'm not here. I'm a figment of your imagination, because you really want me to be here. Brought you a housewarming gift. It's also an illusion. How do you like it?
Makes you look dignified and manlier than in real life.
Does it? The painter's a friend of mine. Could be she gave me slightly broader shoulders? Well, I'm sure.
Don't doubt it. But didn't I see this painting at your place?
This is its perfect replica, and it's yours. To remember me by. Good. So, Geralt, important to remember. If anyone asks, I'm not here. Last time I was in Toussaint, enjoying myself, true, Henrietta, that is, the Duchess, got a little carried away. Banished me from the duchy on pain of death. Wouldn't want to ruffle her feathers without cause.
Wise, especially since she's been through quite a bit recently.
I've heard some rumors, but I'd love a first-hand account. Does it have the makings of a ballad? Well, going to show me around? Tell me the story?
Of course. Let's go. Luckily, Sienna made up with Henrietta. Seems to have abandoned her plans. She's locked up now, awaiting sentencing, really. Most think the Duchess will forgive her. Might take some time, but...
What? A story? Seems I missed quite a lot. Shame I didn't ride here with you. Though, truth be told, had my hands full back home as well.
What's new, old friend?
Everything's fine. Great. Thanks to you, I'm with a woman I'm entirely devoted to. Surrendered my heart to.
Didn't have all that much to do with that.
If you hadn't been there, Priscilla would have died a cruel death. And right about now, I'd be drowning my sorrows in some dive with piss-stained walls.
Hope she's better.
She had the best medics around. Wounds have all healed. She's confident, outgoing. She's got places to go and folk to see. And in the alcove. I mean, can you imagine she...
Dandelion, I can't imagine, and I won't.
All right, but your loss.
How's business? You and Zoltan still have your tavern? Or has he embarked on some new venture?
You know him. We'll share a jug of mead and he'll go on about some new plan he's got. Nothing ever comes of it. So, we're still there. Recently, we discovered Novigrad's largest wine importer was a lying cheat, watering down his wines, but so clever, you'd never taste the difference.
So how'd you figure out he was up to something?
This one day I was feeling down in the muck. Decided to lift my spirits by, well, getting a little drunk. Actually, replace a little with really. So I knocked back a bottle, nothing. Then another. Maybe a slight buzz.
Might not be a lightweight anymore. Could be those years of training have finally paid off.
Come on! It took me 5 bottles to start seeing double. I thought, might just be a weird day. So I tried the same thing the next morning. Exact same result. I told Zoltan. He tried it and confirmed my findings. So we decided to ask the importer some tough questions. The man cracked. I threatened to tell everyone about his trickery unless he gave me a discount.
Plan to stay long?
Don't know yet, but might stay a little while. I've always loved Beauclair. The place is made for poets.
What'll you do here?
City's full of knights errant, and they all want ballads immortalizing their deeds. Get this. I've already been approached by a knight who spent years battling the weather. Says he's got a real bone to pick with gusty storms.
Battles the weather? How's that work?
Dunno. Promised to show me when the time was right. There's another who's vowed to move a mountain that's blocking his ailing mother's view of the sunset. So he's moving it. 1 stone at a time. Sole worry is that his mama won't live to see him finish.
You're right. Prime ballad material there. Glad you came. We'll have some good talks. See you later, Dandelion.
See you, Witcher.
I've scissored my fingers into shreds.
Renovations coming along all right, Barnabas Basil?
Superbly, sir. General refurbishment has been completed. And I took the liberty of adding 2 racks, each upon which you might hang weapons and armor, if you've some pieces you'd like to display. Likewise, I have prepared a few spots in which new paintings might be hung. In Athenus, the laborers dusting out the cellar have made a most unusual discovery. I believe it's something you'll wish to see.